Welcome to the Namaste Show, radio to inspire enlightened living. Namaste simply means the spirit of love in me honors the spirit of love in you, and all is well. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, your host, and I thank you for joining me today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Namaste Show. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, and once again, I am delighted that you're taking this time to spend with me on this Saturday morning in beautiful Hendersonville, North Carolina. Well, first of all, I'd like to let you know that I'm actually going to be doing this show without any notes. Good old Char left her computer at home, so I'm going to do this one just for memory. But I think I have enough memory of this topic, which I hope you find interesting because it is actually very near and dear to my heart and to my ancestry. And by saying that, I know that some of the big hype that we've seen on the news, there was actually a show a few weeks ago on the History Channel, the Hatfields and McCoys. And oh my gosh, was that ever a great show. I watched it just without interruption for 3 nights in a row. And I thought it was a wonderful, wonderful description of what actually happened back in the 1800s in West Virginia and Kentucky. And that battle or that feud is actually my ancestors. My mother, Dorothy, was a Hatfield, and her father, Homer, was actually an ancestor of Devil Anse Hatfield from West Virginia. So I, grew up knowing that I had that bloodline in me, but we never really discussed it too much. I mean, it was kind of a fun little joke that we'd talk about, and often people would get a chuckle when I'd say, oh, I'm a Hatfield. But it seems like now I've become a celebrity around here because, oh my gosh, you're related to the Hatfields and McCoys. And well, yes, I am. And I bring this up today, number one, because first of all, I think it's just a great story. It's like a modern day Romeo and Juliet. It's got all the cast and characters that just make for a fabulous story. And it's true. And it's brutal. I tell you, it is amazing to see that how two families could carry on for so many years this feud of blood and war and conflict and just hatred for each other. And the reason I bring this up is because it just is an example of how we carry forth in our own lives sometimes these ancient hatreds for another. And they don't only sometimes happen within our lifetime, but they carry on through generations, such as the Hatfields and McCoys. Well, the good news is that I believe it was 1992, that they signed a treaty. The Hatfields and McCoys signed a peace treaty saying, okay, I'm willing to let this go, and let's choose to move forward in peace. Let's resolve this conflict once and for all. Well, the good news is that they did that. But, the other side of the story is that conflict went on for well over 100 years. And, that represents in the big picture what many of us do day to day. One of my favorite quotes from A Course in Miracles is, "The holiest place on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love." And by that, it really means that, we carry these resentments, these judgments, these reasons that we think are logical to dislike or even hate somebody. And although their examples were severe, I mean, they went from, just starting this argument over a pig, supposedly. And now all of a sudden, one of the McCoys stole a pig from a Hatfield. And from there, well, the rest of the story. Lots of blood was shed. Lots of drama happened. And so what do we do in our lives day to day that we keep those ancient hatreds in our consciousness? We think we have reasons to justify this, but we really don't. We may think that we can say, well, so-and-so did this to me last year, and I'm just so angry that I'm going to hold on to this, and I'm going to build up a lot of allies to agree with me so I can just carry this anger or this hatred towards this other person. Well, that's all fine if you choose to do it because, sometimes we just do these silly little things. But on the other hand, let's look at the bigger picture. When we carry this in our hearts and in our consciousness, it's reflecting out into every area of our life. If I have hatred in my heart, then I'm reflecting that out into everything I do. If I have not chosen to offer forgiveness or let something go that has happened some while ago, then what tends to happen is I walk through life with anger and resentment and judgment. That doesn't sound or feel very good, does it? Well, I offer you another possibility, and that is the gift of forgiveness. There again, back to the Course in Miracles, there's a teaching. Well, the entire book is actually a lesson in forgiveness. But one part of it talks about that we actually hold thorns in one hand and lilies in the other hand. And when we do that, we're every moment deciding, am I going to hand this brother, this sister of mine, the gift of lilies or the gift of thorns? Well, obviously, the gift of thorns is not a gift of redemption and forgiveness, but we do tend to hang on when it really isn't serving anyone. At this point in time, I think we have all the information through religion, spirituality, philosophy, psychotherapy, all these wonderful tools to help us navigate through our lives in a peaceful way. Yet we want to cling on to all of those past thoughts that hurt. Well, they say that not being willing to offer forgiveness to our brother is really like pouring gasoline over our own head. We think that, oh, well, you don't deserve my forgiveness. Well, that may be true in your own mind, but in the big picture, you're just really putting a big knife in your own back. So as we move on, let's talk a little bit about forgiveness. And I love the whole idea. The basis of all spiritual teachings and religions is forgiveness. And forgiveness in the old paradigm says, okay, you stinking Hatfield or you stinking McCoy, you stole my pig or you killed my brother. And those are, the latter of the two is obviously something that is very painful and very somewhat worthy of feeling pain and anger. But on the other hand, as we carry this through, we just tend to reiterate that story. Now, I will tell you something, that I'm a very black and white teacher and student. And by that, I mean every moment that I'm not choosing love, I'm choosing to be in fear. I'm choosing to be in conflict. So whether it be a major by my own judgment, reason to judge or to condemn or hold a grievance, or whether it be something minor like you cut me off in traffic, both are really the same impediments to joy. Both are really keeping us from knowing the sense of peace in our lives and being able to live a happy, healthy, and holy life. And so I really just love this idea of forgiveness, which I want to take a minute to talk about. The Course in Miracles says, first of all, there's nothing to forgive. Whoa, what the heck does that mean? Well, in truth, we always tend to think that, you did this horrible thing to me. But you know what? I go to Sunday school now, so I'm going to forgive you even though you're a real schmuck and you did this horrible thing. But really, the big picture is, and this is something I really love to remind our listeners and remind my students at the Namaste Center every week, and just practice in my own life, is that there is nothing to forgive. A Course in Miracles even goes on to say that we don't need to ask God for forgiveness because God's never placed a judgment upon us. God is just holding a space for us in our perfection, in only love. He loves us so unconditionally that there is nothing that we can do to change his or her mind about us. Now, that being said, we do have to live in this world. We have to navigate through life situations. And we think that we have reason to judge or to exclude other people from our hearts and our minds. Well, in some ways, we have to use the practicality of the teachings of A Course in Miracles or other spiritual teachings, because, we can't just go around town, as they say, pouring pink paint over our neuroses and our judgment and act like nothing is happening and all is well. I once heard from a good friend of mine, Marianne Williamson, who said, the people that scare me the most are the people that go around smiling all the time as if nothing is going on. And in one way, she is right. It is scary because in reality, sometimes we just say, oh, I'm just going to love everybody and all is well and all is forgiven. But underneath all of that disguise of love and pink paint and rose-colored glasses is a seething anger. And we're the only ones who can really say to ourselves, yes, I am maybe not reflecting how I really feel. So what happens is every moment I'm choosing to align my thoughts with those that heal, bring union, bring peace, and bring love and oneness to my life, or I'm choosing thoughts that hurt and keep us separate from each other. In other words, I'm perpetuating my misery. And since we're all sort of interconnected here on this planet, every time I choose to judge or condemn, then that energy is affecting the entire universe. Well, same holds true for the power of love. Every time I choose love over fear, then I'm actually making a decision to rise above and let go of all past hurts. Well, this is very interesting. We had a seminar at our Namaste Center a few weeks ago, and Dr. Bradley Nelson, who I've mentioned here recently on the show, he is a Mormon from Utah who has really been inspired, he says, by God to offer this gift of healing that is available to everybody. He actually calls it the emotion code. And he makes reference to all of our pain and suffering is due to trapped emotions in our body. And those trapped emotions can actually be ignited or really dug into our cellular memory by not only situations that happen recently or even when we're a child, but it can also happen before we were even born. Now, some people would refer to this and say, well, that's a past life. I'm not saying that you have to believe that we are in reincarnation. I don't say that reincarnation is necessarily something you have to or not believe in. I think that's a very personal decision. But I do love what he talks about. Dr. Nelson actually refers to reincarnation, not necessarily meaning that we were Cleopatra in a past life or Napoleon in another life, but rather that we're carrying the ancestral cellular memories through each generation. So sometimes I can actually have a pain or a situation in my life that is creating conflict in this moment that is actually 5 generations back. And that is because maybe my great-great-great-great-grandfather was involved in a situation that really was so painful or so traumatic that cellular memory just dug its roots in to my cells, and every generation just passes that forward. So what we can do, the beauty is that we can heal back through all those generations, so our future generations don't have to carry this burden with them. So how do we do that? Well, we do that through my favorite topic, through forgiveness. And forgiveness comes in layers. One quote from A Course in Miracles that is right from the very introduction. It says, "The Course does not teach the meaning of love, for that is beyond what can be taught. It does, however, aim to removing the blocks that keep us from knowing that connection to spirit. So every moment, every choice I make for love, then I'm lifting that veil that keeps me from knowing my reality as a perfect child of God, created in only love. And not only that, as I do this for myself, the entire world is lifted by that gift. I'm going to go on into our commercials. I'd love for you to just take a moment to listen carefully, honor my sponsors, and know that they support this show, and they also support you in your healing journey. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. Fitness for the body, mind, and soul, your one-stop shop for overall well-being in Hendersonville's only holistic health and wellness center. Jennifer Bird, award-winning bodybuilder and Hendersonville's best personal fitness trainer, will work with you to create a program to attain your optimal body. I love my therapeutic massages from Elena, facials with Claire, and then have an organic veggie juice or smoothie with Tony. Fitness for the body, mind, and soul also offers Zumba, Nia, Ageless Grace, boot camps, abs, stretch, yoga, and Tai Chi. Great membership deals are waiting for you. Come in for a tour today at 419 South King Street in downtown Hendersonville or call us at 489-3855. See you there. Did you know that the words you speak create your reality? Since that's the case, you may want to pay attention to what you're saying. My good friend, mentor, and master teacher, Robert Tennyson Stevens, creator of Mastery Systems, is a pioneer in the influence of language, imagination, facilitation, and body language on activating and enjoying our dreams now. For more than 30 years, Bob has provided personal, team, and corporate facilitation. We are blessed to have Bob living right here in our own backyard, and we're grateful to him for offering his seminars at the Namaste Center. Make sure you check out Bob's website, masterysystems.com, or call his office for an appointment, 891-7500. Did you know that disease cannot live in an alkaline body? Of course, we all know that a healthy diet, abundant in fruits and vegetables, is good for us, but did you know that by drinking Pengen alkaline water, you can restore your body to homeostasis, which is its natural state for healing? Sound too good to be true? Give Ellen a call at 828-697-1556 to find out more about this miracle water. You can also visit our website, h2o-kangen.com. I've been drinking Kangen water for 3 years and I love it. Change your water, change your life. If you love your furry friends as much as I do, then you want their caretakers to love them too. My good friend Laura from Flat Rock Furry Friends and More loves your pets as much as you do. Our dogs squeal with excitement every time she comes to visit. She has been in business for 4 years, bonded and insured, and loves to provide day visits to your feline and canine friends. Call Laura today at 489-8009. Her initial visit and assessments are free. Your pets will love her, and you will too. Are you feeling like you would like more clarity and inner peace in your life? Are you looking for a unique and personal gift for someone? If you have not been to Emerald Lotus, you need to go. My friend Lori Fothergill has created an amazing sanctuary for the body, mind, and soul. Emerald Lotus has wonderful spiritual tools and gifts, workshops and classes, and spiritual guidance for anyone who is seeking more inner peace and awareness in their lives. Go see Lori today at 1750 Brevard Road in Laurel Park in Hendersonville. Her number is 693-0301. How would you like to get a great workout and have a lot of fun at the same time? Eric at Dancing Feet would love to introduce you to the world of ballroom dancing. His teaching technique is fun. Maybe you want to learn a sexy Latin dance, or you have a wedding coming up and you want to look dazzling on the dance floor. Eric is available to you for group or private lessons. He and his wife Michelle also host social dances and parties. Call Eric today at Dancing Feet, 692-1900. Visit Eric today at the Singleton Center in Flat Rock and tell him Charlotte sent you. Crystal Visions is a sanctuary for the spiritual seeker, providing resources for transformation and growth, including books, music, crystals, jewelry, and more, serving the greater Hendersonville community since 1989. In this sacred setting, you may experience spiritual and metaphysical teachings, guidance, meditation, sharing, and laughter. This is a safe haven for you to reflect upon and voice your thoughts about your earth journey. Their capable and loving staff reflect a broad spiritual background that serves to enhance your experience here. Crystal Visions honors and welcomes all paths. Visit Blair today at 5426 Asheville Highway in North Hendersonville, 687-1193. Thai food is not only delicious, but it's good for you too. My favorite Thai food is Hendersonville's First Thai restaurant, Thai Spice. Jan and Nook share their authentic Thai recipes with the freshest ingredients available and create dishes pleasing to your taste buds and your tummy. Their friendly, accommodating servers and staff make the experience all the more enjoyable. Stop by soon and check out Hendersonville's best Thai food. There's a good chance I'll be there too. You can see them at 220 South King Street in Hendersonville, 693-7323. And welcome back to the Namaste Show. I'm Charlotte McGinnis, and today's topic is actually about healing through forgiveness. And I started the show today to using the example of the Hatfields and McCoys. And I use that example because, first of all, it's all over the media these days because of this wonderful documentary. I would call it documentary slash story that has been on the History Channel the past few weeks. They've been playing it over and over. And it's a story of the Hatfields and McCoys. And they really did this up in the Hollywood fashion. They, of course, had Kevin Costner and Bill Paxton, who actually played a great role. I think that their acting was superior in this movie. And I heard that they actually filmed this in Romania, and it was cold. They said Kevin Costner said it was very cold, and when they got into the water, it was freezing. So I do want to give them kudos for doing such a wonderful job. Everybody really did a tremendous job in making this so lifelike, and I have to say, pretty historically accurate. Although there was some of the Hollywood glitz and glamour that they may have embedded into the story a little bit, I'd say overall that it was very historically accurate. And the reason, as I mentioned earlier, that this really is something that has struck me so profoundly is because that is my ancestry. My mother was born a Hatfield, and if we trace back, I have pretty direct connection to Devil Anse Hatfield, who actually was one of the stars of the show, played by Kevin Costner. Well, they're just a big example. They are really showing us what we do in our own lives. Although it's a little more gory and a big, deep story, almost like, as mentioned earlier, Romeo and Juliet, it really is a story in perpetuating the need for conflict and hatred of another. I want to go back to a quote I mentioned in the first part of the show, which is, "The holiest place on earth is where ancient hatred has become a present love." And I want to reiterate that because it is so, so true. What happens is we hold on for so long to this justified anger and these grievances, and we think we have reason to do so. But I can tell you from experience and working with others, when we're able to let go of anger and resentment, we are free. And we're free then to be here fully. So often, I work with people, and as a spiritual counselor, a life coach, I do a lot of work one-on-one with people, and they wonder why they're not succeeding, why their lives really aren't working. Well, I always go back and check their emotions, where maybe they could be holding a resentment or a judgment. Where do they have belief systems that make them believe that they're not capable or worthy of attracting good into their lives? We all come here with the open arms into a world where the sky is the limit. And better yet, if you're born here in this country, that we really do have a lot of freedoms that other countries don't offer. We've got the freedom to worship where we choose to worship. We've really got the entrepreneurial spirit here where anybody can be successful. And someone will come to me and say, well, I can't be successful because my father wasn't successful, or my mother was mean to me growing up, or this terrible thing happened to me when I was 12. And yes, you'll get a pat on the back from me, and you'll get compassion, and I understand. I'm not in a place of judging and saying, well, get over it. But in a sense, I do say, eventually, get over it. Let it go. Is this thought really serving you in this moment? Anytime we're just holding those yucky feelings in our body, all these blaming games, all these thoughts that go back into my past or the past of my family, anytime I do that, what I'm reinforcing is more of the same. Our dominant thoughts create our reality. If I'm thinking angry thoughts, I'm going to create an angry life. If I create loving thoughts, forgiving thoughts, if I'm choosing to be a light into this world, guess what? Back to the law of attraction we talk about. I'm going to attract more of the same into my life. So every moment we do have free will to choose which thought system is going to lead me in that direction which I choose. So I would recommend, as we're winding down to the end of the show here, to really pay attention. What is it that I think I'm justified into hanging on to? Do you want to carry this anger for 150 years like the Hatfields and McCoys did? Or do you want to say, you know what? I don't have to carry this anymore. I'll tell you a little something. Yesterday I was in a class, teaching a class, and there was some people that were participating in the group. And what we did as a group was we actually did a prayer of release for all of the ancestries, all of my ancestors who carried this burden of grief with them, this burden of anger. And we did a prayer and asked that everyone be released from their past. Because if I release my past, I don't have to be a burden to it. If I release my past, I can move forward with my life in ease and grace with a whole new world waiting to be created. So it's up to you. You can hang on. You can grab your friends and tell your story. Or you can say, nope, I'm choosing to let go. I'm choosing to move forward in peace. I'm choosing happiness. And I choose to be the best person I can be here today. And when you do that, you won't even be able to imagine what goods are waiting for you. We are here to be happy. If you're not happy, choose again. We don't have to perpetuate conflict anymore. We're in a time on our planet when things are accelerating so quickly, and we can accelerate those towards good, or we can accelerate those towards the dark side or evil. It's really up to us to be that light. And if you don't think just little old you has a purpose and a value on this earth, I ask you to think about that again, because you are so valuable and you are so powerful. Every person listening here today and every person beyond that has the power to move mountains. We just have to be willing to let go and choose another path. I suggest we all choose love. Let's create a wonderful, happy world. Let's let the Hatfields and McCoys be blessed. Thank them for their lessons that they taught us. Let's let ourselves use our stories, bless them, thank them for the lessons that they've taught us, and move on. Let's see what we can make happen. I choose magic, I choose joy and happiness, not only for myself, but for each of you. And I thank you for tuning in and hope you can join me every Sunday at the Namaste Center, 419 South King Street at 11 a.m. We have a wonderful Sunday Soulful Celebration service, great music, message, and of course, good fellowship. Great group of people. Love to see you there. So for now, look forward to having you tune in next week, and you all have a blessed week and can't wait to hear about your miracle. Let's choose love. And so it is. Namaste. I invite you to join me every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. on WTZQ AM 1600 and on Sundays at 11 a.m. for the Sunday Soulful Celebration held at the Namaste Center at Fitness for the Body, Mind, and Soul, 419 South King Street in downtown Hendersonville. Go to our website, thenamasteshow.com for more information. Until we meet again, Namaste.